All right, so I'm going to do another live today. I got a comment from somebody in my last live that said, "Oh, another armchair guru." And, it actually didn't really bother me, but it got me thinking. The last thing that I want to do is to come across like I know it all. I've got all the answers, just follow me, and you're set. No way, no how. The exact opposite, actually. I want to be seen as a human being who's got a huge, huge passion and yet has had a huge array of blocks and obstacles that have been getting in the way of living my passion. It's a very common thing. Most people don't even consider putting serious action towards their truest dreams, goals, aspirations. It's a fact. I mean, I've been coaching for, more than 20 years. And with all the people that I've worked with, from the homeless to Emmy winning filmmakers, kids, teens, young adults, entrepreneurs, creatives of every stripe, teachers, consultants, I mean, it goes on and on. The one common thread that I have found is that we don't value who we are and what we bring to the world, myself included. It has plagued my existence in the past, thinking, who am I? Who am I to share my ideas with the world, to make it a better place, to help people live their passion, their dreams, to pursue the mastery of their talents, their interests. This is my number one obsession, my love, is to witness, and whenever I get to a chance to be a catalyst for people to be their amazing selves. I get it that you and I are friggin' amazing. Like, fact. Not as a thought, not as a feel good kind of notion, like, hey, you're just awesome. But instead, hard, cold fact. We as human beings, individually and collectively, are beyond amazing. But there's so much stuff that gets in the way of that amazingness that we can barely see it and recognize it. I've had to put a lot of time and energy into clearing the crap of my own beliefs about myself. Being a brain glitched, ADD, dyslexic, Tourette's syndrome like person. That's my past. And seeing myself as, yes, those things have been real and they have impacted my life profoundly. But at the same time, I too am frigging amazing. I am. I get it. And I own it. And I'm declaring it right now, publicly. I am amazing. Now, certain parts of my memory don't work. I do not remember birthdays. I do not remember lyrics to songs. It's just something that my brain has a hard time doing. But what I can do, and that I'm really amazing at, is seeing patterns, especially big picture patterns of this thing called life. So when I studied electrical and computer engineering, I saw the connection between what I was learning, the physics of, well, specifically waves, and music and living your life to the fullest. I saw those patterns. I saw the common denominator with it all. So yes, I may have ADD, though I don't subscribe to labels, actually. But what I have and who I am would match up with ADD, dyslexia, and even stuttering and a mild form of Tourette syndrome. And I've been plagued with this most of my life, but not any longer. I came up with an approach that helped me work with my brain glitches, snafus, idiosyncrasies, whatever you want to call it, to work in my advantage. And it's like, when I see other people who doubt their own capacity to bring what they have, whatever inside them to this world and be of value and have people appreciate it, that doubt, I get it. And I say, no matter how much evidence you personally may have to your shortcomings, or not even you, to life in general, to circumstances in your life, time, energy, money, those types of things, that no matter who you are and what you're facing, I'm still going to say with deep conviction that you're friggin' amazing. You have what it takes within you to do your thing. What is your thing? I don't know. Do you? Are you living that passion of yours? Do you even know what it is? If you don't, take a look at your childhood. Take a look at the things that you've been naturally drawn to, and that'll give you a little hint. But have you given credibility to those things? Or has it been written off as childhood dreams and fantasies? And you've got real life to deal with, and you've got family, kids, job, other things that you have to deal with in reality. So that your passions may not even be considered or even known. But I'm going to be bold right now and say, your job being on this planet, this is made up, by the way, but it's also potentially true. Your job is to find out, what are you here to be doing on this planet? Assuming, hypothetically, that you matter. Even out of 7+ billion people on this planet, yes, you as an individual matter. You may not be able to hear that. I'm not sure. But I'm going to say it again. You matter. And you need to show up in this world fully you. Not you held back. Not you constrained. Not you thinking about how will people like me or accept me, being who I really am in this world. I was watching America's Got Talent last night, and oh my God, I end up in tears every time I see that, because I love people shining in their light. Whatever flavor that they bring to this world, I celebrate it. I love it, love it, love it, love it. And I love hearing their stories. This one guy in particular, he looks different. He dresses different. He's very strange. He's very outside the norm. And here I find myself in tears looking at that guy, getting up on stage in front of the entire world, saying, here I am. How many of us have the guts and the courage, the clarity to do that? In my own way, that's what I'm doing right now. Is I show up doing my Facebook Lives every single day. 2,000 in a row now, something I lost count. I am the introverted. I am the glitched. I am the weird, the strange person. And yes, I've dressed myself up and I present myself so I'm at least semi-normal. But the bottom line is, I am in my own world. I have created my own reality, my own rules, my own framework for understanding life, which is very much outside of what normal people, normal quote unquote people, come from. And I recognize that a lot of times when I share on these lives, I'm not going to be heard or understood. And it's like, who is this guy? What is he saying? What? Click. But for those out there who have ever gone through the experience of not being able to be themselves in this world, then this is for you. I'm on the other side, not completely. I don't know if I'll ever be completely on the other side of caring too much about what others think and how I appear to others. But I'll tell you, the freedom that I have now, it's like, oh my God, this is my job. This is my job. To learn how to be myself authentically, in the raw, publicly, in any circumstance imaginable. That's my job. Yes, I call myself a coach, and I've been doing that for 20 years. And I like to call myself a catalyst, that spark to help people get their thing happening, whatever. But in the end, my job is to just be myself, my raw, authentic self. Glitchy, strange, different, weird. Because my belief is that as I give myself permission to do that, I might give others permission to do the same thing. So I did a live earlier, and I got this weird comment saying, oh, armchair gurus, LOL. And I thought, that's not where I come from. I know this because I am forever my own experiment. And for the rest of my life, I will have things to move towards mastery for. I'm forever the student. And whatever ideas I share, they're just ideas. I am never wanting to tell people what to do, what to think, nothing like that. Hey, Buster Hine. Interesting. I came across a guru once. I wiped it off with a napkin and apologized. That's funny. I like that. Yeah. So again, my place is like, no, man. I'm just going to I'm going to share my life transparently. My challenges, like I just did. I've had dyslexia and ADD, and I've had what I call a flow glitch in. My number one passion for 30 years was music, and I dedicated my entire existence to being the next jazz fusion guitarist on the stage. George Benson, you probably don't know who that is, but I wanted to be that. But it turns out that I have this Tourette syndrome-like flinch, that whenever I went to play guitar or on my drum, and I have drums all around me right now, I had a stutter. And in the 3 music schools that I went to, I had to watch all the other students getting better. And yet I was practicing 10 to 12 hours every freaking day, trying to get better at my number one passion, guitar. And the more I practiced, the worse I got. The worse I got. Absolutely. It's a strange thing. I've never seen it in another musician, quite frankly. I know it's out there, but bottom line is I had a stutter. Had a stutter whenever I would go to express myself, whether talking, which I didn't learn to talk until I was 3 years old. And for most of my life, I always had trouble finding the words to describe what I was thinking or feeling or seeing in my mind. And doing more than 2,000 lives in a row now, every single day. It's given me the ability to talk more smoothly, like infinitely so, to talk off the cuff like I am right now at this moment. Normally, the old self would be, and then I would forget what I was saying, and I'd panic. It's like, Now, it's okay. So anyway, back to the point. What I share in these 2,000 lives that I've done is my life, open book. Not as a guru, not as a coach with all the freaking answers, because there's too many of them out there. And, there are a lot of great folks out there for inspiration and for key insights into awareness and getting unblocked and doing our thing to the fullest. There's a lot of great stuff out there. A lot. But I have found so much of it does not make a difference in the end. That in the over 300 books that I've read, countless seminars from Tony Robbins to Landmark Education, something called the Forum years ago. Oh, great stuff. I love it. But in the end, I was still stuck. I was still freaking blocked by my own mind. And so what I did was, over the past 20 years, I came up with my own approach that has been working so tremendously. My passion to express myself through music, through singing, through drumming. I'm 54 now, and for the first time in my life, I know what it's like to be freely expressed. I am more capable than I had ever dreamed. I am freaking amazing. I used to not be able to even sing a note. And my ear training teacher in my first school, Philadelphia College of Performing Arts, would yell at me, "Mr. Cantino, why can't you sing this note?" And he would bang on that piano. Boom, boom, boom. And I'd be just horrified in front of everybody. I couldn't sing a freaking note. And now with the approach that it took me 20 years to come up with this approach, and I combined what I learned in electrical and computer engineering with principles of music and principles of nature. Freaking weird sounding, I know, but that's my life as a wave model, and it's done wonders. I can not only sing on key, I can harmonize. I can improvise. I can make up music with a song that I've never heard before in my life. I can imitate the bass sound and go to the drum sound and then back to the lyrics or whatever. Other things that I can do that I've been plagued with in the past is like, oh my God, I had probably half a dozen tennis coaches. I wanted to be a professional tennis player, but I sucked. And I would get angry every time that ball would hit the net or whatever. I would just freak out. I was so reactive. I came into this world a volatile person, very, very reactive. And then eventually very, 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 very negative on myself. Well, that didn't do shit. That didn't help. That exacerbated things and paradoxically made it worse. But with my life as a wave approach that I've worked on for years and years and years and years, I can now play better tennis at 54 than I can at 16. That's amazing to me. Oh, I can dance now too. I used to be the dude that would look like all stilted and stuff and just like calculating like, how do I dance here? And now I know what it's like to be in flow and to be surprised by what my body can do as I'm freeing up my mind, because that is the only thing that's getting in the way. It turns out that genetically I'm fine. Some people might think like myself that, oh, geez, I was just born unlucky. I don't have what it takes. I don't have a sense of rhythm. I'm not creative. Bullshit, bullshit, and bullshit. And that's why my company is called Untapped Genius. It refers to the built-in body abilities that the mind and body has, period. Every single human body and animal body, through physics and through other explorations, I've identified a couple of things that make all the difference in the world. So that I'm able to say, I don't know who you are, but you are freaking amazing, more amazing than what you realize, and I'm confident of that. There's really cool things, like look up something called entrainment. E-N, the word train. Look up entrainment. And then get back to me. Our bodies and minds have the ability to get in sync with other rhythms. Entrainment is the ability to get into rhythm and in sync with your surroundings. Your life depends on it. Your health depends on it. I could talk about entrainment forever. But that's just one of many abilities that we have in us, that when you recognize it, you can use that ability to help you do your thing, no matter what that is. Creative, or building a business, getting healthy. Once you know about this, just one ability, that untapped genius that you didn't know you had, can make all the difference in the world. And so these lives that I do every day, it's just to like share, like, hey, guess what? No matter what you think, you are freaking amazing. And I'm not talking about just some philosophical feel-good notion like, oh, you're just so amazing. No, it's the physics that I'm talking about, and it's demonstrable. I can prove it to you. I can show you just how amazing you are, and that you have it in you. I think many of us, and I'll end with this, are plagued with, whether we recognize it or not, of not enoughness. And it shows up in our comparing ourselves to others. better or worse. Isn't it interesting if you think about it? That we even think in terms of better or worse, more valuable or less valuable. I see that that is a human construct completely made up. It's fiction. To the universe, I think, to nature, there is no better or worse or more important, less important. It all counts, the small and the big. It all creates one integrated system. It's kind of like with a car. Is the engine more important than the spark plug or the tires? I don't think so. So it all matters. It all counts. So I question the very fabric from which most human beings come from, which is comparing. I am good. I am bad. Oh, the hell with that kind of thing. I like to make it about physics, physics of movement. Am I being my state of mind in a place where things are allowed to come through me? Or is my state of mind getting a bunch of crap in the way? The doubts, the fears, the limits and constraints that you don't even know your mind is creating, because it's creating it all the time. It has to. It has to. It has to categorize and delineate things and to make sense of the world by doing so. But in so doing, it limits us in catastrophic ways. So in this world where we find ourselves, especially during the corona wave, as I like to call it, and everything else going on, I see this is now the time, more than ever, to get clear about what you bring to this world. You are amazing. Damn it. I'm sticking to it. That's it. We'll see you.